going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here. After absolutely mental night
Come
last
on.
night, 3-0 against Dortmund.
Easy
Our
for
player
us.
ratings is back, but we've got a substitution for Simeon. We've got the great Sam on the channel. Welcome back.
Thank you very much. Great to be here again. Always a pleasure.
What was that about last night? How amazing was that?
What a second half. What a second half. From the 46th minute onwards. I think there was 1 minute, the first minute of that second half we kicked off and we scored. It was go from there. Absolutely brilliant. Everyone was really good last night. Poch got it bang on, especially second half. Wasn't quite, I think it was a bit of cat and mouse first half. I like Jadon Sancho.
Yeah, it's good.
I like a couple of their midfielders as well. The central midfielders thought they controlled the midfield quite well in the first half. But we exploited their weaknesses. They had injuries just like we did, and we were clinical. Something that we haven't been this season. I think it's been a problem in games like when we're at home to Man United, at home to Manchester City. Games where even when we beat teams, we're only beating them 1-0, 2-0. When we're used to maybe scoring 3 or 4, we weren't clinical. Last night we were proper clinical.
But let's get straight into the player ratings. Hugo Lloris, we gave him a 7. He made some really important saves in that first half. It wasn't kind of the performance we saw against Leicester from him, but it was still a really good performance, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was called upon when needed, and he delivered that. The Zagadou, he is huge. His head is deflected off Foyth. It's a great save to claw out. But that bloke is enormous. I don't think I've ever seen a bigger centre back than him. So I think, and considering we have a problem sometimes with defending set pieces, I thought we defended majority of the night. When they did get a corner or a free kick, we defended it well. Especially they had a few big boys in that team. They had a big centre half at left back. Toprak's a big guy. Zagadou.
No one would have called a clean sheet for Spurs last night.
No. I think they've scored in almost every game this season. Dortmund. They've only lost once, and that was a 4-3. So look, I mean, I'm still shocked. Obviously, it helped that they didn't have a fit striker. But I guess
their 2 top goal scorers are out when
and their
Marco
defensive
Reus
midfielder was injured,
and Alcacer.
Julian Weigl was their main defensive midfielder, and he was injured as well. So obviously it helps. But
And their right back, Piszczek.
Yeah, they had Hakimi, who's on loan from Real Madrid. It's not bad.
He made his debut against us for Real Madrid.
Yeah. He's not a bad replacement to have. So.
But back on Hugo, that one save right at the end of that first half was so vital because going into that at half time 1-0 down, heads down.
Heads drop.
But we go in 0-0 and we came out proper fighting that second half. Let's move on to Serge Aurier. We gave him a 7. I know you didn't think he was too good last night.
It's difficult. I would have given him a 6, but because that ball for Jan's goal was a really, really good cross. But why can't he do that every time he gets to the ball? It's the first, 1 in every 30 crosses he's going to pick his man out. That's not good enough.
I thought first half, especially in that first 5 minutes, getting booked in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, stupid.
Bit
70 yards from goal, Pulisic. I know he's quick and he's good, but we're playing 5 at the back. Why does he need to do that?
The thing is about Aurier, he can be a bit of a liability at times, but I think he showed last night a lot of things that Trippier is not going to do. He gets up and down, he's got that physical presence.
Yeah.
In that second half, he did so well. And people talk about how good Trippier's crossing is. How good was that cross from Aurier?
Yeah, great. It was a knock. It was a great ball in. The thing about Aurier, he's just thoughtless. He's so stupid sometimes. Just if he keeps his brain screwed on for 90 minutes a week, he'd honestly be probably the best right back in the league.
Yeah.
He's been here for 18 months and I don't see anything changing yet. So. Look, there's a great ball in for Jan.
I think it's a bit unfair on Aurier because I think last season, compared to this season, I know he hasn't had much game time this season, but when he's been called upon this season, he's been all right.
Yeah,
I think he's been better than Trippier. I prefer him to Trippier.
So do I. So do I. Especially, I actually think he's a better defender than he is going forward, which when I think Trippier is better going forward than he is a defender.
Right. But then again, when you look at last night, that cross he put into the box.
Yeah, it was a great ball in, but it shouldn't take him. That was his 10th cross of the night. It shouldn't take you that many attempts to get the cross right.
Yeah.
But credit due where credit due. Great ball in. Clean. He's part of the back 4 or 5 that kept the clean sheet. So you can't.
He did so much work last night that you would not see Trippier do, and I think if Trippier
definitely
was playing that night, we could have been found out.
Yeah, we would have got rinsed by Pulisic down that left. So look, It's 50-50. It's 50-50 with Aurier. So
Imagine you can put the two players together and merge them.
Do Trippier and Aurier? Yeah. Or it would be a terrible. I'm not even sure. I'm not sure if it'd be a good right back or a bad right back. I'm not even sure. Yeah. Obviously, he needs to still keep working, keep improving.
Yeah.
But not bad. Not bad.
All right, let's move on to Davinson Sanchez. We gave him a 7 as well. I thought, I've dug out Sanchez a lot this season, but I think his performances are getting better. He was really good against Leicester, and I thought part of that back five last night, nulled Dortmund completely in that second half.
Yeah, he was solid. Didn't have too much to do. Won his battles, individual battles. Won the headers. He miskicked a clearance, which almost led to a goal. But other than that, he was really, really good.
People forget about Sanchez, about how young he actually is.
Yeah, and he only played one season in Holland and one season in Colombia?
Yeah.
So to come and... It's the same with Foyth, who's played 8 times in Argentina before having to come and make your Premier League debut. It's a lot to ask, and people do forget how young Sanchez is, how raw he is. Doesn't really speak the language fully yet. He's still a young man, and he'll get better with as time goes on, I think.
Moving on to Toby, we gave him an 8. I thought he was our best centre-back of the night last night, pinging balls all over the place as he does, challenges, and especially in that first half, I thought he was amazing. Second half, they were just completely nullified, Dortmund. I don't remember that one chance, maybe that one chance from...
The right at the end.
Right at the end when we were 3-0 up already. That was it, really, in that second half. And I think a lot of that was down to do with Toby.
I think there was one moment in that second half. We had a quick free kick where he's booted at 90 yards to get Eriksen in behind, and no one's even watching. It was unbelievable. Yeah, Toby's always puts in 100% no matter what. Can't ever say a bad word about him. Even if he makes a mistake, he'll hold his hands up. He is unlucky not to be the captain. Royce. Yeah, he's unlucky not to be the captain of this football club. There just happens to be people like Harry and Hugo and Jan that had been there longer. But if we'd signed Toby 2 years prior, I reckon he would be the captain right now.
Yeah.
He's different class.
But he needs to sign that contract, doesn't
he? Yeah. Don't know about that. Don't know if he will. I wish he would, but don't know if he will.
All right, let's move on to Juan Foyth, one of our own, one of a kind. We gave him an 8.
Champions League debut.
Champions League debut was Juan Foyth. Yeah, you're right.
Not a bad debut.
Not a bad debut at all. I thought he was absolutely brilliant. Coming of age of him, really. Like you said before, he's only played a handful of games in Argentina, thrown into the deep end in the Premier League. To be fair to him, he's had his mistakes, but he's grown every performance he's done.
Yeah, honestly, he was... a couple of times he got out-muscled, or maybe took a split second too long to make his decision. Do I pass? Do I dribble it? Do I bring it forward a bit more? And they nicked the ball and they countered, but he'll learn. Again, he's like Sanchez, he's 21, 21, he'll learn and he'll improve, he'll get much better. I thought he was brilliant last night. I think he can even be put into sort of like a Dyer's defensive midfield role.
Potentially.
Definitely, I think so.
He's
brilliant.
He's going from strength to strength. And he doesn't look strong, that's the thing, he's deceiving.
He's quick, he's strong, he's so confident. Honestly, nothing phases him. He could be up against one-on-one with Messi, and I wouldn't necessarily back him, but I wouldn't want to go up against someone like that.
And he's very quick as well. You saw last night, coming up against Pulisic, how many times did he stop him or catch up with him or outpace him?
There was one moment in the second half where Pulisic tried to knock him around the corner and outpace him, and Foyth just completely done him.
Yeah.
And then shielded out for a goal kick. It was immense. He was really, really good. Coming as part of that back five. And he made a few good runs forward as well. I remember he would get into the byline at the other end, trying to set up a goal. So yeah, he's very positive. That's what you want. That's what you want from your defenders, to be positive, not to just get the ball and pass it sideways and backwards and 3 yards to your central midfielder, but to take a risk.
100%. I really like the look of him. But let's move on to Jan Vertonghen, the man of the match for me. We gave him 11 out of 10, the highest ever rating we've ever given anyone on this show. How good was he last night?
It's hard enough when you're a 31-year-old being put at left back, but a left wing back. Words can't even describe how much I love Jan. A true servant to the club, never ever complains, and he was brilliant last night. I'm so happy for him to get a goal. So happy.
Marauding up and down that left side, like
a Rolls
like
Royce.
he was
Rolls Royce.
like he was 21 years old. Like how does he have the energy to get up and down like that? It was absolutely insane. He was causing them problems all night long.
His technical ability for someone so big and someone so as a central defender, basically, his technical ability is a joke. It's so good. He's so good. I just love watching him play. I think he'll be a club legend.
If he's not already. He needs to win something with us.
Definitely. He deserves to. He's so good. He was the best player on the pitch last night, best player I've seen on the pitch in a while.
And I was saying after the Newcastle game, because he played left back that game, and he was brilliant then as well. This was a complete another level.
He plays left back for Belgium, doesn't he?
Yeah, sometimes.
In fact, he wasn't left back long. He was left wing back, and he was up against Jadon Sancho, and he was just.
It was a masterclass from
Jadon Sancho. I think came out and said that it was a tough game. That was not what I expected.
You know how many times have we dug out Ben Davies for being a left wing back and he's not good enough? Like he watch Vertonghen's performance.
Honestly,
Ben Davies, you know what I mean?
Next time Danny Rose is injured, we'll put Davies as centre back and Jan at left back.
I think that's a better move. We can just carry on talking about him all night. But
we could just do a Vertonghen
just a tribute video. Yeah. But let's move on to Harry Winks. We gave him an 8. I think another sensational performance for him. He is really coming of age, Harry Winks, because I was banging on about him last season about how good he is, but this season he has just been so good, and especially last night, controlling that thing in the middle, very pinging passes, driving forward. I just love the guy so much.
Always positive, always on the front foot, always on the half turn. Always looking to make something happen. Just he's always aware, and he's not scared. He's not scared of the tackle.
He doesn't get involved. He doesn't get phased of these big games as well.
Or these big boys. He'll get involved in a 50-50 with a 6'4" centre back. He's not fussed about that. He'll get involved. He'll ping the pass left, right, and centre. He'll try and get on the end of a move, as we saw at Fulham, coming in around the back. There's just aspects of his game that improve every week, and it's just so great to see something different come out of the academy, as well as all these exciting attacking talent England have. We have someone like this to go forward, and a lot of rival fans will say, "Oh, Harry Winks doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
All right, if they want to think that, they can think that. You're going to have to deal with him being in the England team for the next however many years.
I think it would be a fair point for them to say that last season, because last season, all right, he was good, but he was mainly just passing sideways and backwards and keeping things moving a bit. But now he's added this whole new aspect to his game where he drives forward and he's very forward thinking, beating men, and he's just getting better and better with every game.
Definitely. He's he'll challenge for headers. He's small. He's a small central midfielder, but he'll win headers. Strong. He's such a talent, and it's credit to him and credit to Pochettino for giving him the belief. I love how much he loves the club as well. Yeah. He's got so much passion.
And with another young midfielder coming through the ranks, Oliver Skipp, what better player is there to learn from than Harry Winks?
When you've got Pochettino as your manager and Harry Winks, who's a couple of years older than you, in the same position as you, and you've got the likes of Harry Kane in there, and
just shows you what you can aspire to, kind of thing.
Literally, he's probably looking at Harry and go, that's going to be me in 2 years. 2-3 years.
Alright, moving on to Moussa Sissoko. We gave him an 8 the GOAT,
Moussa
Sissoko.
Moussa for Ballon d'Or.
What more can we say about Moussa Sissoko? Like, every game he's putting in these performances.
I'm considering getting a life-size cardboard cutout.
To sleep with every night.
Yeah. Maybe even a few. Have one in the car. Just one everywhere. Just everywhere you look.
You know, you're talking about a player which pretty much 80% of the Spurs fan base would have sold him in the summer.
I think more, yeah. I think everyone would have. No one would have cared. Not one person would have cared if he went in the summer, or if he was frozen out like Janssen. No one would have cared.
100%.
12 months ago, he couldn't even pass it 5 yards without taking 4 touches and doing a 3-1-2s with Serge Aurier.
But you know, you got to give credit to him, credit to Poch.
He's turned it around himself, but he is so good at the transition from defence to attack. He breaks up play so well. He's also on the half turn, ready to drive. There was one moment where last night where he, like, you know, on FIFA when you like let it run through your legs and then you turn. He did that and then he flicked it past someone and then he switched it. When does he have that in his locker?
I think especially in like the last 20 minutes, you could see how valuable he was to the team because
his energy
is just second to none. He just picks up that ball.
He must have an extra set.
Nobody can get the ball off him. Like,
he's so strong.
The only way he loses the ball is if he misplaces a pass.
I think one thing that is missing from Sissoko, from being that 50, 60 million pound midfielder is that every time he has to make a decision, whether it's that through pass or whether do I shoot, do I try and find the guy at the back?
He hesitates a bit.
He hesitates and sometimes gets it wrong. Or he'll, like, I remember. Do you remember when we beat Arsenal? Well, of course you do. When we won 2-0 at Arsenal, there was a counter-attack that he had to finish off the move when Eriksen's pulled it back.
Mm-hmm.
Most players would hit the target there. Just put your head down and put your foot through. He booted it over because you had to make a decision. Do I shoot? Do I take another touch? It's just things like that. If you can just improve his decision-making in the final third, I think we have a 60, 70 million pound midfielder in this market.
To be honest, I think we have that already. You know, when you're talking about players like we had last season, Moussa Dembele, yeah. Everyone goes on about how Moussa Dembele was the go, what a brilliant player he was. Yeah, he was a brilliant player.
I'm convinced that Dembele is Dembele just wearing a Sissoko suit or something.
The thing is with Dembele though, he was a player that used to dance around players, go sideways and backwards, not so much go forward. And
especially in his more recent days.
And the thing we were crying out for in a midfield was someone to drive forward. And Sissoko is that guy, you know. He's a tank, he's a beast, no one can get the ball off him. And he just drives. Dembele was a tank and a beast, but didn't drive forward. That was what we were missing.
And last night, I think Dortmund were a bit scared of him.
Yeah.
I think the central midfield, I think Witsel and Delaney were scared of Sissoko breaking through and powering through them. There were so many Spurs players they were worried about last night. We didn't even have Harry Kane and Dele Alli. That's what their problem. We showed them too much respect in the first half, which is why they passed the ball around us and had some chances. And then I think second half they showed us a bit too much respect, and they got punished.
But let's move on to Christian Eriksen. We gave him a 7. He got the assist. Not his greatest performance, but I still thought he played very well last night. He was finding those pockets of space, making things tick as he does. If he wasn't playing last night, then we would have been in trouble attacking wise.
Yeah, definitely. We wouldn't have had anyone to pick up I saw him last night. He drops deep a lot to try and find a pass. If he wasn't playing last night, would we have had? When Sissoko does break into that final third, who would he have given it to? So it is harsh to say he didn't do that much last night. When in fact he actually does do a lot.
He did a lot.
I think we're just expecting him to we
control that whole game, you know, because we know he can do that.
Yeah, we've seen what he's like on his day. Like Juventus away a year ago today, he was running the show in Turin, and I think we expected something a bit more like that today.
To be fair, I still think he did run the show, just not to the extent of what we're kind of used to. I think
it wasn't the game everyone was expecting. It wasn't that fast-paced goals like chance after chance, like end-to-end kind of game everyone was expecting.
We had to be more patient last night.
It was a bit, and Dortmund were a bit like, if we attack, they can hit us on the break. It was a bit, like I said, a bit of cat and mouse for 45 minutes, and for that period after we scored until the second goal was about 40 minutes as well. So.
And I think there was that moment where there was a brilliant ball out to Eriksen on the left-hand side. I can't remember who played it. I think it might have been Toby. And
was this the quick free kick?
It could have been when Eriksen was on the left-hand side and he had so much space, and I think it was Son who was free in the box, and he just played a bit of a shit ball.
And he tried to chip it in.
Yeah, exactly.
Quick free kick, and then they're
so that should have been a goal.
Yeah, that's something simple. Just drill it across. Son has a tap in, but he's tried to chip it over the giant centre half. So it's just using your brain. It's just things like that that are the difference between that are the fine margins in winning and losing. Even though we won, but that could have been 4-0 and tie over.
Let's move on to Lucas Moura. We gave him a 6. I thought he was kind of our worst player on the pitch.
Yeah. Harsh.
First half, he was getting a lot of the ball. His end product is really bad.
I think he's got to take, especially with Kane and Dele Alli, he's got to take responsibility. He's got to. What's the point of him playing if he's just going to receive the ball on the half turn and just pass it 5 yards backwards or sideways or whatever? What's the point in that? He's got to pick up the ball and drive. Use your pace. Knock it past someone.
The thing is, he's
rapid. Just if he gets the ball and just starts running at them, we've seen what happens at Old Trafford. People can't. Defenders don't want that. Yeah. The last thing a defender wants is someone as quick as him with as good feet as him running at you, because that's when they get into trouble. That's when they've got to make a tackle, and the chances are it's going to be a bad tackle and it's going to bring a penalty, a free kick in a dangerous position, a booking, a red card, whatever. So in a game like that last night, I was really disappointed. He had to take that game by the scruff of the neck, a bit like Sancho did in the first half. Although he was disappointing in the second half, he had no striker to play with, and he was sort of trying to do it on his own. And that's what Lucas should have done last night, picked the ball up and started running at people. He didn't do that, and I was disappointed.
I think Lucas improved a bit in the second half, but first half he was really disappointing. But the problem I had with it is, like, recently I've been digging out Lucas because he's been pretty anonymous in games in the past kind of month. I think he got involved in the play a lot last night. It's just that his end product, or he kept losing the ball or misplacing passes.
It's like he's scared to just. He's trying to just be like Sissoko was last year, where if I do a 5-yard pass hit to him, no one can shout at me, no one can say anything because I've not lost the ball. Or if I take if I take a player on, or if I take a player on in around the halfway line, if I beat my man and then pass it, I've done all right. It's just not. I don't want to say it's not good enough because that's harsh. It's just he's just got to take more responsibility. He's got to be more direct. Do what you're good at. That's what the difference with Sissoko is last year and this year. He's playing to his strength, which is his fitness and his size, and just being able to glide past people. That's what he's good at. Lucas is Lucas is good at running at people, step out skills, and beating players.
But also, he needs to get in behind more because I don't feel he does that at all.
Make that run across. Make that centre half run 40 yards to the left to track you. Bring that space for Sonny.
We're talking a lot of negative things about Lucas Moura, but all in all, I thought it was a better performance last night than it has been in the past couple of weeks.
I don't even think we're being so negative about it. I think these are just constructive criticisms. He's just got to improve.
I like Moura a lot. I think he's a brilliant player.
I think he was a bargain at 25 million as well. And he scored some good goals and some big. Look, he scored the goal at the Nou Camp. He scored 2 at Old Trafford. Yeah. Scored at PSV.
Yeah.
He's a good player. He's a big player. Just needs to be a bit more confident. Just believe in himself a bit more.
I agree with that. Let's move on to Sonny. We gave him an 8.
Sonaldo.
I love this guy so much. You know, he keeps up his good record against Dortmund. I think that's like 9 goals in 11 games against Dortmund or something.
Yeah, and it's 11 in his last 12 for Tottenham.
Oh, it's amazing. The guy, he's come back from injury.
Just spreads to everyone.
He's come back from the Asian Games. He's scored every single game since he's been. He was causing Dortmund problems all night long. You know,
his movement. If people was he didn't have that many chances. He didn't do this. He caused problems. Just his movement.
Yeah, he is just incredible. Like we keep saying it at the end of every game, just going on about Son. He's been playing so well, but like, what more can we say about him? He just causes the other team so many problems. They just can't handle him. And you know, he's been touted as PFA Player of the Year now.
Yeah, I reckon depending on how the rest of the season goes, he could win it. The defenders don't know if he's going to use his right or his left. I don't know if he's going to use his right or his left.
Exactly, he's so tricky.
So
you can't read
so
him.
Unpredictable. Is he going to shoot? Is he going to step over par? I don't know. He's just so good. And he's just so happy. He also loves the club. I think he loves playing for Tottenham. And as a football fan of any club in the world, all you want from your players is just to show a bit of passion and just to show that they care. And that's what I think we've got in every single one of our players.
And also, going back to Lucas Moura a bit, for him to see what he can become as well, look at Son. Because they were a bit similar. Son was a bit similar to that at the start of his first career.
Was okay.
Yeah.
This second season started well.
He's got gradually better every single season.
He's always had a spell in a season where the goals have dried up.
Yeah.
He's been a bit trying too hard.
He hasn't had that
and gets frustrated, which is a bit what Lucas is going through now. And he's just improved. He didn't score for ages when he came back from the games, like from the first games.
And it was that Chelsea game which kicked it off. Since that Chelsea game, we beat them 3-1.
Yeah, it was the West Ham in the cup where he scored 2.
Right.
In the League
That was
Cup.
a couple of weeks before the Chelsea game.
And it just getting it. So maybe Lucas needs a goal to boost his confidence. But this time, like you said, he's come back from the Asian Cup and he's just
firing on all cylinders.
Every time he gets the ball, he looks like he's going to score.
All right, let's move on to Pochettino. We gave him a 10. I thought a lot of fans questioned the lineup when they saw it. 5 at the back, 1 Foyth is playing, no Llorente, no focal point up there. But you know, first half it could have been argued that the lineup wasn't great. But you know, what did he say to them at half time?
I've got no idea. I think he showed the videos, didn't he? He showed the videos
did he?
of their positional problems from the first half, and then suddenly we were brilliant. But he got it spot on last night.
100%.
And I think having Jan at left back, Sancho was struggling with Jan at left wing back. Sancho was struggling so much to get past him. It forced Sancho to come inside, to come into a more central midfield position and create from there. And that didn't work because then you've got 2 giant, one giant central midfield, two good central midfielders, I'll say. And then if you get past them, you've got another three good world-class centre-halves. So I think he got the tactics bang on last night. I think
that Tongan move was just a masterclass from Pochettino.
Oh, and I think if Llorente had played last night, playing into Dortmund's hands, they don't mind. If you saw, like I said, you saw the size of their defenders. That guy is honestly the biggest defender I've ever seen. So having Llorente up there, he probably would have been going, all right, I'll win every header against you, mate, because Llorente doesn't really. I mean, it sounds ridiculous, but he doesn't win every header.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he got it absolutely bang on last night. He learned from his mistakes as well. He's learned from previous Champions League games where he's just sat down and not maybe changed it, and he's just sat on his arse and watched it all unfold without changing, or changing it too late, or doing the wrong changes. He got it bang on with the right changes, and credit.
The main thing for me was
shared by everyone.
The main thing for me was. Usually in these Champions League games we concede early. When you look at Barcelona, Inter Milan, PSV, Juventus last year, this time we kept 5 at the back, really tight. Our defensive shape was spot on, and Pochettino must have drilled that into them before the game, because you could see it. We tried so hard
not to concede from a set piece within 90 seconds. You
know what I mean? And and we bear the fruits. It was just amazing last night. Pochettino got it absolutely spot on. A few mentions about the subs. Llorente, done really well.
What more do you want from your backup striker to come on and score a tie-winning, almost what could be a tie-winning goal from a corner?
Llorente gets dug out so much, but I think he's been brilliant this season. I think he comes off the bench, he changes games. PSV, he changed the game. There was another game I can't remember off the top. If Simeon was here, he would tell me which game it was.
Watford, he got the assist. Newcastle, he got the assist. He's a game changer. It feels like it's like having Peter Crouch back. Like a Spanish version of Peter Crouch, like Peter Crouchinho or something.
And you're forgetting as well that he made 2 crucial clearances last night. In the last
the first, he came off the pitch, had 2 touches. One was to clear a corner, the other was to score from a corner. What more do you want? Who else was him on? Wanyama
didn't come on, did he?
Yeah, 30 seconds at the end.
Yeah.
And Lamela. He got 90 seconds, but
not enough time. The only
relevant.
Even Llorente didn't get enough time, but in that time,
I didn't expect anything. I just thought he chased the 2 centre halves down twice and walk around a bit.
Brilliant header for Llorente for the goal.
Yeah, great header.
Because when we signed him from Swansea, everyone was like, "Oh, this guy's the king of headers. Scored 12 headers the year before."
And you can win one to save his life.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Is this guy for real? He's 6'4" and Lucas Moura wins more headers than
him. I genuinely believe he's got a lot better from last season.
I still don't think he's the answer to when Harry Kane's injured, but
I mean, he gives us a different option, especially coming off the bench. Good plan B, I feel.
Yeah, but not if you want to win trophies every year. He's not going to win. He's not that kind of. I don't think.
I mean, what other striker?
I agree. Everyone goes, who's going to want to come and play second fiddle to Harry Kane? To be honest, the answer is I don't know.
Yeah.
But I know that the long-term solution.
We would have someone else.
The long-term solution is not.
Well, clearly he's like 32 years old or whatever, but
look, we can't complain.
No, we can't complain at all.
The situation.
I can't
around with the stadium, their signings.
Yeah. Everyone wrote us off.
Every year we get. I love it when they write us off.
Yeah.
Okay, we're out the FA Cup, we're out the Carling Cup or whatever it's called.
We're going.
Disappointing. We all would have loved a trip to Wembley in the final. We can't sit here and say.
We've been to Wembley enough times now.
We can't sit here and say we're disappointed. We're not disappointed to be out the cup because we are. Realistically.
Obviously, I would have loved to win the cup, but everything was going against us this season. No signings, no stadium, mad injury crisis all the way through the season. And we've got 1 foot in the quarterfinals of the Champions League, and we're 5 points behind the top of the table
with a game in hand. And with our 2 best players injured, with one meant to be back
and
next
coming
week,
back, both of them are meant to be back. Yeah.
Both of them back next week. Perfect. So we can't complain at all. I don't think. I think everyone has such high expectations now. It's so hard for you can't please everyone.
Well, that's all down to Pochettino and the work he's done, because it's second to none.
The man is just a genius. But we can't complain. I'm absolutely buzzing over last night. I'm so excited to fly out to Dortmund now.
Oh, I can't wait.
It's going to be so much fun.
I cannot wait.
I never thought.
You think it's 1 goal and tie over out in Dortmund?
What, for one, as in if we score tie over? Yeah, I agree with that. I also think that we need to, if we can get to half time at 0-0 at least, then I can't see them scoring.
Mm.
But you never know.
Never write off. You know, look at Real Madrid Juventus last season. You know, I think was it Juventus were 3-0 up after the first leg, and then Real Madrid come back and win it.
We've seen just in general with Dortmund, you never write them off. They've been 2-3-0 down a couple of times this season. I've seen them come back and win, even under previous managers.
Yeah.
You look at Liverpool, and Liverpool beat them 4-3, but they were well behind in that.
You know, I don't think the tie is over by any stretch of the imagination.
Well, they could score in the first 5 minutes,
and they're going to have their two players back.
Yeah, and they could score in the first 5 minutes, and that's backs it all for the next 85 minutes, maybe more. Mm. So yeah, obviously they'll have Marco Reus back, who is different class. They'll have their striker Alcácer, their defensive midfielder Weigl, but we'll have hopefully Kane and Ali. Yeah. Please God, no more injuries.
Yeah, please. Just now
until
the end of the season. Just don't give us any injuries. I just say no training.
No training, just 90 minutes a week.
God, this injury crisis we've had, you know, because we had that first one in the beginning of the season.
Where it was all the defenders.
Yeah.
Where Jan was injured, or it was Rose or Toby.
Yeah.
And now it's the strikers. Can't write. Next Pochettino's going to pull a muscle. But yeah.
All right. Well, there you have it. There's our player ratings for the brilliant win in Dortmund last night. We got a bit of a break now until Burnley away, the next massive game.
Looking forward to that 12:30.
Yeah, you going up there for that?
Yeah.
Brilliant. So I'll see you up there.
Yeah.
Check out our content for that. Well, you know, it's always good to
look
see
forward to Spurs.
Best away form in the league.
Not looking forward to Burnley.
Best away form in Europe. So check out for our content for that. And as always, come on you Spurs!